Hi, my name is Derek L. Cottingham with Pride, and I'm so happy to be speaking with you, Assad, about season two of Interview with the Vampire.
Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely to meet you. No.
My first question is, as an actor, how do you play a character who is pretending to be someone else, from being Rashid to then revealing that you're actually Armand?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a really exciting challenge. And also I feel like this season we're seeing lots of different versions of Armand within Armand's sense as well. And we are jumping through history in lots of different ways. So yeah, in many ways, I went from, I guess, Rashid in season one, you know, a character pretending to be someone else, but now that someone else has more layers to him
Mm.
than Rashid. I think maybe at some point I was sort of longing for a simpler life as Rashid. Maybe, but yeah, it was brilliant. It's a dream come true for me in this part. It's beautifully written and so many layers. And
And my next question, Armand does not want to go on record. How would you describe his feelings about the interview, and why is he supporting Louis doing it?
there's a lot of self-preservation uh, that he's trying to uphold and preserve a life that he's worked very hard to build with Louis. And we see through the course of the season how difficult and how hard he's had to work. And I guess they both had to get to this point in Dubai when we meet them. And Daniel, I think, is a threat to that. And so I think in the beginning we see Armand sort of um, placating the situation and trying to sort of use his presence as this very powerful entity to um, to sort of push Daniel into a corner where he will do as he's told, as in get this interview done in a very, very sort of um, uh, simple fashion without asking too many questions. And in the beginning, he thinks that his mere presence will do that, but I think Daniel's way more formidable than he ever imagined, and we find out.
Yeah, I can definitely see that Armand would like it to be a little bit more surface level interview
Yeah,
while Daniel
yeah.
is kind of just digging away.
I mean, yeah, and his, he says it to Louis at the end of episode one. We can have him saying what happened next in no time. If I come in and we do this together, we can finish this off very quickly. And I think he's also battling this, like, he's battling his frustration and anxiety about their relationship, and knowing that this is something that Louis has asked for, which he does not want to give him, but he has to in
Mhm.
order to sort of preserve this relationship. And that's a real battle in himself.
Speaking of Armand and Louis' relationship, how would you best describe their love that they share?
I would describe it as tender, um, as very, for Armand, a sort of a soothing love. I think Armand is behind the facade of his power and his sort of his stoicism is uh, a scared child and um, someone looking for support and care, and that's how I think Louis sees that, and I think that's how their relationship kind of blossoms in Paris. Um, it's yeah, he's vulnerable, and he allows himself to be vulnerable around Louis, which the theater of the Coven, the theater of the vampires haven't seen before as well, which kind of shakes up that dynamic. but yeah, it's tender.
And if you could describe your version of Armand in a few words, what would they be?
Um, Armand is a vampire with many layers and many facets to his personality, and he is afraid to look into his past and really explore what those those facets of
Mhm.
um, his history have, how they've shaped who he is. And this season, he, I think, is forced to maybe come to terms with some of those things of his past. But yeah, he's a very layered human being, vampire human being.
Speaking of Ramon's personality, are there anything of his personality traits that you relate to yourself?
Um, I think his insecurities definitely there, and those were maybe the parts I found sort of easiest to sort of tap into, because I think we all have insecurities, and we sort of can use them as superpowers, or we can let them eat us up. And there's been moments in my life where my insecurities have sort of got the better of me, and there's been moments where I've been able to harness them and understand them, because I don't think they're bad things. So yeah, his sort of his his inner kind of weaknesses were my favorite parts of him, because I understood those
Mm-hmm.
a lot more than um, the other menacing side that he has, and also um, the masterful side that he has. Those were harder to tap into for me, but his weaknesses were very easy because they're weaknesses. But yeah.
And with all of that said, Armand is a beloved character in the universe, but at times does some unsavory things. How did you approach delivering that gray area in your portrayal of this character?
Or how did I approach it? I I have to say I didn't I didn't really think of it like that.
Mhm.
I didn't think I had to find a gray area in sort of how moral or immoral this
Mhm.
character is. I think what's so brilliant about um, about how Roland has constructed this character and what we've taken from the books is there's it's just so, humans are flawed, but humans are also capable of amazing things. And here, this vampire is flawed, and as are they all. And so it was, yeah. I think I didn't have to worry too much about
Mhm.
this side of Armand is good, so we need to sort of, and this side of Armand is bad. But all of them make him who he is.
Mhm. And how does playing a particular TV role like Armand differ from acting for the stage with your theater background? How do you approach this medium differently than being on stage?
Well, just on a very technical level, it took me not a while, but like it took me some time to sort of hone everything down into a space where the camera can pick you up, because I am quite naturally quite sort of gangly and sort of a little bit chaotic. And on stage with characters, when you embody a character and sort of when you work out the blocking, it helps, and you can really sort of let go. But um, here, I had to learn to sort of bring that energy inside, and do something that I hadn't really done before, which was sort of emulate that energy through stillness. And I'm still learning that. It's like I'm learning it every day, and watching the other actors, especially Eric and Jacob, who I spent so much time with.
Mhm.
It's just a masterclass with them, and because they are so good at it. And yeah, they really sort of helped me along with it.
Mm, awesome. And in a few details, without too many spoilers, Please tell us your favorite episode to film this season and why.
Oh, it has to be episode 5, and um, uh, and also, by the way, that was the first episode we I filmed. That was my first episode. We went into the the. You've seen the screeners, right?
From all the way to episode 6 with the big.
I always get really worried because I go, but then I've
Yeah.
realized you guys have seen the screeners, so I'm allowed to talk about 5. Yes, so
Not in too much detail. We are under certain spoiler embargoes, which
great,
is why I
great,
pray
fantastic. I'm just gonna say episode 5 is my favorite. It's really because it is very different, and also because it was the first thing I shot. Um, I think I hold it quite close to me, because it was really scary. It was such a scary thing to do, to sort of be thrown into that episode, and it's the one I look back at, and I can see I have a bit of a outer body experience every time I watch it. Kind of don't recognize myself in it, which is, I'm not sure whether that's a good or bad thing. I think I'm gonna say it's a good thing right now. So
You're great at your craft. That's all that means.
who knows? But yeah, that's my favorite episode.
Awesome. And what are your hopes for viewers after watching this season? What do you hope they take with them, digest after seeing these new characters and the journeys that they're on?
Um, I think I just hope that we have told the story in as and carried on this story from season 1 in as honest um, and and honest and giving way as possible. I think that's the most I can really hope for. Because people's tastes are people's tastes, and we have told the story. As long as we feel that we've told the story we wanted to tell, that's good enough for me. And I personally feel we have. Yeah, uh, and I think Rolin Jones is an absolute mastermind genius, and so yeah, I'm confident that we have.
Well, from me, I can say that season 2 took it to new heights, and I have enjoyed what I've seen thus far. Congratulations on the new season 2, and thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
Mhm.